Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chapter Tactics, where we go over tactics and strategies to help out both new and veteran players alike. I am Magikarp Fly, and with me today, we have our regular co-host with Demeki.
Hey, y'all. How y'all doing?
And John P.
What's up, everybody?
All right, so you know what? That's a better intro than what we usually have, so it's good. It's fine. We're good. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to not get gotcha'd, because that's a lot of people get gotcha'd. That it's like one of the things that people don't like about the game is being gotcha'd. I know that a handful of us have been gotcha'd a couple of times. John P, have you been gotcha'd before?
Most definitely.
What about you, Demeki? When you went to go play, were you gotcha'd?
Yeah, I was gotcha'd. I was definitely gotcha'd. I'll go with more detail about it, but yeah, I was gotcha'd. It was interesting though.
Yeah. If you guys are watching us on YouTube, you guys will notice that we are not in the office today. We decided to do it from home. Demeki is out of town this week, so he can't participate inside the studio. So we decided to let Raph have a nice day off, and so we're just doing it from home.
Yeah, I decided that I needed to prepare for SoCal in a different way. So I got a hotel room and I brought my codex with me, and I'm getting ready for SoCal. I'm getting that prepared.
You're just
you in like the mountains.
Yeah.
He just old boy. Yeah. He just old boyed himself. He's just gonna stay inside that room for an entire year and then come out and mastermind.
I am in the hyperbolic time chamber right now.
All right, so I think that John P has a did you know for us. John P, you want to take that away with a did you know?
Yeah. All right. So, did you know the story of the Red Grail? So, the Red Grail is a sacred relic of the Blood Angels chapter, which is obviously a Space Marines chapter, and all of its successor chapters, which they use to preserve the blood of their Primarch, Sanguinius. Obviously, Sanguinius no longer with us because Horus killed him. But the blood inside of the Red Grail is drunk during rituals of the chapter, including one known as the Insanguination, wherein an aspirant, which is someone looking to be inducted into the Astartes, drinks the blood, and then the blood, which is preserved within the Primarch's blood is preserved within the bodies of the chapter's sanguinary priests, and then it's used as a catalyst to activate the all the new like gene seed organs that they get, all like 73,000 organs that they get when they become a Space Marine.
Wait, so you're telling me that they just drink the blood and that's how they store it, is by drinking the blood?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. That's not how this.
Bro,
that's not how blood works.
Wait, John P, you literally just described an episode of True Blood.
Yeah, that's just.
Well, maybe they got that episode from 40K.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe
you literally just described Lilith.
Yeah, it's basically just like, oh, dude, what should we have Suki do this season? Oh, I found this really cool little piece of information about the Blood Angels.
Yeah. From this game called Warhammer 40K.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's a good. Did you know? Some nice Blood Angel stuff. They're always fun to hear about. What are you guys doing this weekend? What, SoCal's coming up next week, right?
We gotta have our listen on Friday, 15th.
Yeah, boy.
So, more than likely, I'm just submitting what I got because I don't think I'm gonna get to play test it.
Yeah. What about you, John P? How's your list coming out?
I have a general idea of what I want to submit. I just need to double check that I actually have enough of it painted, because I would like to minimize the amount of hobbying.
Oh, that you want to do
prior to SoCal happening.
You're min-maxing.
I mean, Yeah, but I mean, if I have to hobby, I can hobby, but it's just gonna be like one of those rush jobs,
Yeah.
sadly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Talk about
They'd be
Rush
looking like my
Uh,
mandrakes. Get the 3 colors on them.
Okay, all right, cool. So we can head on over to the main topic now, but before we do that, as always, this show is brought to you by frontlinegaming.org, where you can get amazing game mats for not just your 40K games, but almost any tabletop game out there. Purchase miniatures at a discounted price and join some of the largest 40K events in the industry. They also have the largest 40K podcasting network in the business with shows like Signals from the Frontline, Chapter Tactics, which you're listening to right now, 40K Game Changers, 40K Stats Center, Grim After Dark, and so much more. That's frontlinegaming.org. And if you guys are going to SoCal, we'll see you guys there. Going to be there. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to not throw dice.
I'm
You
gonna
can
make
come throw
one.
my dice. Yeah, you can come
Yeah.
throw my dice.
Yeah, can I do a
That
celebrity
is.
shot? Like a guest shot?
Yeah.
I got this 12-inch charge I need to make.
Yeah,
I know I need a lifeline.
I need a 12-inch charge. Can I get a lifeline
Yeah.
to make you get over here?
Let me phone a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some fuel pains I need to make. I
Yeah.
know the person
Oh.
to call for this.
I'm on my way.
Demeka, you still bringing the 9 Chronos? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely bringing the 9 Chronos. I had a lot of fun with that list. It's a good time, win or lose.
Yeah. That's all.
I
It
feel
is.
like you put in so much work to get those 9 chronos together. I feel like you should at least bring them to more than one event, you know?
Yeah, well, the thing was too is that if I wanted to run Death Guard, I would have had to get a lot of hobbying done as well.
Mm.
And yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Good. I'm surprised that you're not bringing AdMech, John P. I figured you would have brought AdMech for this.
Yeah. I mean, it's my first tournament. I always kind of imagined myself playing in my first tournament with Space Wolves.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is it?
I feel it.
Also less hobby.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
I
less
would
hobby.
run.
Yeah.
I would run Tau, but that would still require a lot of hobbying. So no.
and mind effort. Lots of brain power.
Mhm.
Yeah. Gonna have to expand that brain. All right.
Yeah, nah. I want to shut my brain off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just stand there and you lose.
Yeah, what's so hard about that,
Yeah,
Demeki?
what's so hard about that?
Okay, so going into this topic for today, we've all been gotcha'd before, whether it was on purpose or if it was on accident. It's inevitable. Everybody's been gotcha'd. It happens to the best of us. But this episode, we want to cover how to make it so then it happens the least amount of times as possible. And so we have a couple of tips for you guys in order to make sure that you guys don't get gotcha'd whenever you go to an event or whenever you're just playing like Garage Hammer, going to a league, anything like that. We got some stuff to talk about here. Demeki, you want to go with the first one? This is the most obvious one.
Yeah. Read the rules. Better read up on the rules. Yeah, I mean, like the main thing is to read up, especially against like probably what's meta. Kind of understand like how those armies work in their rules. It's always good to ask questions, as many questions as possible too, before you get into your match with your opponent, especially if it's your first time fighting that army.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely reading up on probably the meta armies and their rules, just their base rules, is a huge help.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
won't necessarily know what certain things will come up until you actually play against them, though, like stratagem wise and whatnot.
Yeah, but like,
'Cause it's a lot to remember.
yeah, but like when it comes to like playing the game and stuff, the best thing that you can do, right, is to read up on what's meta. Like if you don't read up on what's meta and you just go in blind when you go to like an event, the meta is going to be like the most blanketed army that's going to be there, right? Like you're going to see your Drakaris, you're going to see your Admechs, you're going to see the top boogeymen. And if they're boogeymen, you got to do your homework, man. You can't just be like,
Oh,
I don't need to
people
know.
are running?
yeah, it's
Whoa, 21 blob ignores AP 1 and 2.
yeah, right? Like you got to be smart about what you're doing, right? So,
Yeah.
reading up on the rules is
Yeah.
very, very important.
I mean, I fought Admech like 3 times now, and I still don't understand what they do.
Dude, I don't either, man. Same thing.
It's
Like
just shooty. That's all I understand.
Yeah,
I
like
was like, the Skitari hurt.
yeah, like every once in a while I would be like, I need to remember this rule the next time that I play. And then it just pushes out my brain. It's like my brain is like a 5 megabyte floppy disk. It just keeps just information just keeps spilling out. I can't hold it all.
You just write over it. You just keep writing over it.
Yeah,
writing
yeah. John P, if somebody were to be like, what is a gotcha that AdMech has? What would it be?
Uh, just so obviously Wrath of Mars, getting all those mortal wounds,
Uh-huh.
going from 40 shots to 60 shots. I feel like that could be a pretty big
Okay,
one.
all right, yeah.
And then ignoring AP1, AP2, as all the stuff that happens in their command phase too, because when the AdMech player is gonna be like spouting out everything that's happening, you might be like, oh, okay, cool, wow, that's a cool buff. Nice, and then you go to hit them, and you're like, wait a second, which one has the one that ignores AP1, AP2?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're just like, man, this is not PogChamp, guys. This is the
Nope.
opposite.
This is the opposite of Poggers.
Yeah.
I know one thing that like irritated me with them was like they have like a teleportability, right, where they can like come off the board and then go back on, kind of like a Mandrake.
Yeah,
And,
solar flare.
Solar
and then,
flare.
but they
Solar flare.
solar flare. But like if they have some type of like, what is it, beacon or something, or some type of tether to another unit, they get a bonus, right?
Yeah.
That was a gotcha for me. I was like, what the hell's doing that?
Yeah. And then on top of that, like if they're in Skitari, the Skitari veteran cohort, they get access to like 4 very, very good stratagems. Like they get one where they get one additional attack per model in the unit, one where they can advance and charge, one where they can auto advance and charge, or auto advance 6 in, I think that's Metallica actually. But yeah, they have a lot of stratagems.
Wow.
There's like, if you are studying up on AdMech, there's a lot you need to know.
Yeah, see, so read up on your. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, read up on your rules, guys. You gotta. It's very, very important.
Yeah.
Next up, we have 5 questions here that you should always ask whenever you're going up against somebody. I guess like we can alternate this and then talk about each one as we go through it. John P, you want to go with the first one?
Yeah, so this one's pretty big. This one feels super bad if you run into this one. But one important question that you should ask your opponent is, do you have a fight last ability?
Yeah. It's like when it comes to fight last abilities. Oh wait, I lost John P for a second.
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Ruh-roh. What happened?
I do not know my. Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're good.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. All right. So, yeah. Do you have fight last? You were saying what was up with fight last?
Yeah, so one question that you should definitely ask is, do you have a fight last? Because it would feel so bad if you were to charge in your guy and you lose your guy on your own turn because you charged something that had a fight last. Obviously, with the new fight first, fight last rules, it's not as strong, but still, it's something you should be aware of. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Because fight last can, I guess, fight order can really change the flow of the game. If you're not fighting when you thought you're gonna be fighting.
Yeah. It's very important. Like if not only ask, do you have fight last? Ask how you have fight last. Like what's giving it off? Is it a stratagem? Is it a command phase ability? Is it just like an aura that you have? Do you have Judy in your army?
Especially ask how big the range is. Some are engagement range, some are 3 inches, some are 6 inches. So very important to keep note of that also.
Yeah, because I mean, like, fight last is going to ruin your day too if you're trying to bank off of movement from fighting, right? So you send something in, you planning on clearing it, but your opponent has fight last, and now that unit's dead, and you didn't get that free movement, or you didn't even get the objective.
Yeah. This next one that we have here is: can you advance and charge or fall back, shoot and charge? Oh, you know what? We can also add into this. Can you perform an action and do something. Like you're only going to see that with ninth edition armies, so it's not that big of a deal. But can you advance and charge, and can you fall back, shoot and charge is very, very important. When you can advance and charge, you have so much more threat range on the board, you know. And if you are a shooting army, this should be like the number one question that you ask all the time, because 24-inch no man's land, like that, a lot of armies can clear that very, very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like too, what also should go with this, or it might just be its own separate question, is can you fall back and shoot or charge?
Yeah,
because like certain armies also still have access to that.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the new 9th edition codexes, because like if you plan on tying something up with the hope of it not being able to fall back and shoot or fall back and charge, you better double check and make sure that that's the case for that particular thing.
Oh yeah.
Also too, when it comes to advances and charges, what's doing it again? Like, is it a stratagem? Like, can you do one or both? Like, how is that working? You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of.
And then
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say you can also ask if like you have ways to auto advance like 6 inches. Because that's a pretty big deal too. It helps you just calculate everything, like so that 12 inches movement, six auto advance, that's 18 inches, plus a possible 12-inch charge. So they have like a 30-inch threat range possibly.
Yeah.
It helps you like pre-measure everything in your head.
Yeah. I feel like that another way to add on to, I feel like that we're just adding more questions now, but like something like, these are like the base questions, right? These are big questions that you should ask, and then could lead into other stuff, right? Like, can you move a unit more than once? That's kind of nichey, but like if they have fallback, if they have advance and charge, you should also be asking, like, as a follow-up question, can they move more than once, like, and understand what their threat range is? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're ever playing like Nids or Eldar, there's a possibility they can move twice.
Yeah. So you just have to be very careful.
Yeah, I don't know which other armies can do it, but yeah.
It's like if you go up against Black Templars and you're just like,
what kind of janky stuff can you do again?
Like you can ask all these questions and they'll answer it truthfully, but then it's like it's like half answers, because it's like, no, I cannot fall back, shoot and charge, but I can devout push, and you don't know about that one. It's like, so like stuff like that is very, very helpful. Let's see, John P, do you want to go on the next one?
Sure, yeah. The next one is, can you manipulate or give off OBSEC in any form or shape or form? This one's a pretty big deal with the whole the current meta of just trying to get on the objective and holding at for the end of your turn to score your stranglehold, get your whatever at the end of the turn. So you got things like your Reavers that could turn off OBSEC. Space Marines can get the Warlord trait, Rights of War, to give off OBSEC. So maybe like you got some Blade Guard veterans that got their OBSEC now, which not super fun to deal with. But yeah, things like that.
Yeah. Now, and there's also Terminators now that just naturally have OBSEC, and
and bikes.
And bikes.
Yeah.
Freaking Dark Angels.
I think what's more important too is if it can give double OBSEC. Like if a unit already has OBSEC, and then something else can give them double OBSEC. So now, just because you have OBSEC there as well, now you got this one unit that's double OBSEC. So, it wins.
I actually have 40 units on here. Suck it. I think I know Necrons have it, but do Orcs have something like that? I feel like they should.
They might. I'm not too sure. I know that Grey Knights have it where they can have double OBSEC. I think Custodes might also have it, but I'm not 100% sure. It's such a niche thing.
OBSEC. Yeah.
It's so niche, but like at the same time, it's not. Like it's very important to know, right? It's a gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You imagine just like some guy just toes in like some rinky-dink infantry unit, and it's just like, oh, he has OBSEC.
He has OBSEC.
I think
it's mine now.
Doesn't one of the sisters characters give off double obsec? Like it can give obsec to another unit, or do they have a stratagem or something?
They
Because
might.
I think that came up during LBTT. That happened to me where I lost an objective. I can't remember if it was sisters or what army it was,
Mhm.
but yeah, I lost an objective to a unit that had double obsec.
I mean, I think that even knights have a way to get OBSEC to give some at least like one of their units OBSEC. So, you know,
Yeah,
be on the lookout.
yeah.
They out there.
Yeah.
They hurting people. This next one, Demeki, you can talk about this one a little bit. But this one is can you for the greater good? Which is can you have somebody jump in to do Overwatch with another unit? Like, even though Overwatch has become not as prevalent anymore, not a lot of people don't really Overwatch that much, there's still some people that can, or there's some armies and some units that can Overwatch along with another unit, right?
Yeah. So like the Tau have the ability for the greater good, and it's I believe it's within 6 inches of the targeted unit that was targeted for the charge. They can assist in firing Overwatch, but there's a caveat. So with Tau, there's a caveat, and the caveat is if that unit for the greater goods, they can not for the greater good again if another unit is targeted that's within 6 inches of them. If the unit that for greater good fired, I might be wrong because it's been a minute since I played Tau. I think if the targeted unit had fired for the greater good, they can still fire their normal Overwatch. But again, I might be wrong. Might have to go back and reread the rule. It's been a minute, but yeah, I mean, the fact that you can have multiple units jump in and help with the Overwatch can be devastating, especially if
they have flamers.
Tau. Right. Yeah. Especially if they have flamers.
Yeah.
And it's one of the strong points for Tau. It's the only thing that they have 3 phases. They have movement phase, shooting phase, Overwatch.
Let's be honest.
It.
Do they really have a movement phase? Let's be honest, man.
It depends on the build.
The deep strike phase.
Yeah. I have the crisis bomb phase. Yeah.
I got it. All right, here's my engagement. All right, engage on all fronts. Done.
We're kind of blowing through these, but this next one, it's the last question that you should be asking. Can you ignore cover saves or invulns? This one's huge because there's a lot of units now that can do that. You could probably couple this in with how much mortal wounds can your army dish out? Mortal wounds right now are pretty nasty. Like even sisters have like a character that can deal D3 mortal wounds to something, or just like flat 3 mortal wounds per like wound that goes through. You got your Grey Knights, you got your Thousand Suns, you've got Admech deals mortal wounds, Jakari deals mortal wounds.
Like Templars are going to.
Yeah,
they're gonna start dealing mortals.
Yeah.
It's almost to the point too with all these mortal wounds. The important question for if you're the person dealing the mortal wounds, do you have a feel no pain? Right? Say, hey, I deal a lot of mortal wounds. Do you have a feel no pain? No? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What is it? Is it a 6-up feel no pain? If it's a 6-up, I don't care. If it's a 5-up, we're talking.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, like,
go ahead.
Even got a preview of something new that is going to be ignoring invuln saves with the Tyranids little preview that we got.
Dude, I'm so excited, man. I'm gonna slap that relic on.
It's a relic. It's a bone sword relic. What can have a bone sword, Matt?
Flying hive tyrants can.
Ooh.
So I can just swing a flying hive tyrant into a block of like blade guard vets and ignore their invuln save. With my
disgusting.
Yeah, and I can reroll my wound rolls.
Ooh,
that's pretty good. Yeah. So is it like one model has the relic, or is it like can a blob of Tyranid warriors have the relic?
It's a relic, so it only applies to one model, I believe.
Okay, so it's only one.
I don't know, Demeki. I don't have the Octarius data book. Okay.
You must retrieve the Octarius data.
I must retrieve the Octarius data.
It's all coming full circle.
Yeah.
It's like they planned this.
I think that this is also very important because of ignoring cover saves as well. Like, a lot of units have benefits when they're inside cover. Like we're talking about Terminators that get +1 to their save. You sit them in cover, and then boom, they've got a 0-up save, right? Like things like your Death Shroud Terminators or something, And so when you ignore that cover save, all of a sudden things like AP1 and AP2, or at least AP2 and AP3 actually matter to you. So you got to be on the lookout for ignoring cover saves. And if your unit doesn't have a good save and you're relying on that cover save,
feels bad. Yeah, and it's like a lot of people with the way that terrain is nowadays, a lot of people base their movement around like trying to get that cover save. And if if you're wasting your time trying to get that cover save when they just ignore it anyways, you're just like, well, dang.
Yeah.
I used all that brain power for nothing, and he just said, nah.
Yeah.
Ignore it.
I think because the thing is too is that you're never going to be able to cover everything. You're going to get gotcha. That's part of the game. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And like the most interesting thing that I think happened during LVTT was when I fought the Richard Siegler sisters list.
Okay.
Or was it John Lennon? Or one of the pro player lists. Like I was one of the guys built it and I was fighting it and it was sisters. And he had 2 or 3 rhinos, right? He told me at the beginning what was inside the rhinos. When the game started, I didn't know he disembarked immediately on turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
So when it got to my turn and I started shooting at the rhinos, I was wasting shots because there was nothing inside. See, so like he got me because like I didn't pay attention to like his side of the board too because it was weird.
Demeki, is that him gotching you or is that you not paying attention to it?
No, I feel like it's a gotcha because at the same time, like I couldn't go around to see his side of the board because the way the terrain was set up.
Oh, so
right?
He didn't tell you that he's disembarking?
Yeah.
Nah. Oh.
He doesn't have to.
Okay.
That's kind of scummy. Like this is
kind of scummy.
Yeah, that's pretty scummy.
But it's also smart in pro play. Like it like I wasn't even mad about it. I was like, dude, that was pretty good. Like I put that one in my pocket. I
feel like that you should not put. You should take it out of your pocket and throw it in the trash. Like you should.
Hey, you got me. Hey, please don't do that again.
Yeah. Hey, dude, you got me. Could you not do that to future players though? Like that kind of sucks, dude. How am I supposed to know that that you don't have units inside of here when you're not telling me?
So I did ask him on turn 3. I was like, "Is there anything in those rhinos?" And he's like, "Nah." And I was like, "Wasted 2 rounds of shooting."
It's like I feel like if I was playing with you guys and I saw you guys shooting a rhino that had nothing in it, I'd be like, "There's nothing in there, by the way. Do you still want to shoot at it?"
Yeah, exactly. It's like
common courtesy,
Yeah, it's like, hey, dude, like this podcast is just gonna be about ripping this guy apart. Like that's just that makes my blood boil that someone did that to you. Like that's garbage.
That is, yeah.
I mean, like I said, I mean, you're not gonna be able to catch every little thing. You're gonna get gotcha'd. But like to me, like I wasn't even that upset about it. I was like, that was smart. Like, sometimes you just gotta tip the hat. You gotta be like, man, that was a smart play.
Demeki, that's not smart. That's like hiding a shiv underneath your jacket and being like, yeah, let's do this fisticuffs combat, and then just start shivving him. Anyways,
so if you are shooting a transport, ask your opponent if there's anything inside.
Question number 7 of this list.
See, and me messing with those rhinos probably is what cost me the game by like 4 points.
Probably.
That's all I lost that game by. Yeah.
Probably.
So.
Yeah.
It happens.
Okay.
By the way, Blessed Bolts is BS.
Blessed Bolts.
All right, so those are the main questions that you should be asking your opponents in order to make sure that you don't get gotcha'd. Another really great thing that you can do, this doesn't really happen too much if you're going to a tournament, because you're gonna have RNG opponents. You don't know what you're going up against. But if you are going up against, if you know who you are going up against and what army they're playing, read their books, read their strats. Like, you have so much documents at your disposal with like Wahapedia, Battle Scribe, all that good stuff. Just go check it out. Or if you have a friend that has the book, you can go check it out there. You can buy the book yourself if you really want to in order to really deep dive into it. But yeah, just like reading your opponent's book is going to help you out so much in understanding what's going on. Otherwise, it's just going to be like listening to gibberish, like that one episode in SpongeBob where Squidward's like, "Oh, yeah, if you think I'm going to stand out there and listen to," it's like that's all it is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in addition to like all the, I'm just adding on to the resources. There's always like a bunch of articles, podcasts out there. YouTube
like this
videos
one.
that you could, like chapter tactics. That, you can look up and just try to absorb some information along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and then like there's also battle reports. You know, I know some dudes that do battle reports, but you know, like
Yeah.
if you're, I would say like that's one way I like to learn how an army plays is to watch a battle report. Because for me, like reading, I can only read so much and retain information. I have to like see it and also like sometimes do it. So like for me, battle reports, I like watching battle reports in order to understand what an army can do, and then also playing against them. So like if you can get reps in with friends, like that's another great way to do it.
If you put the models in your mouth, the information retains as well. So
I love putting models in my mouth.
Yeah, so like if you just went up to the rhino and you were just like, "Oh, dude, there's no models in there?" No, and then you're just like, "Can I pick it up?" And then he says yes. Then you just put the whole rhino in your mouth, and you'll never forget it after that.
Yeah,
dude, it's a great way to make new friends at tournaments. Just like as soon as you meet your opponent, just grab. Don't even say anything. Just grab the first model like that you can reach and put it in your mouth.
It's a bonding experience.
Yeah. It's a bonding knife.
Yeah.
If he doesn't return the same thing, then it's not meant to be.
Yeah. Can you imagine just like you walk up to a table, you put a model in your mouth, and then your opponent picks up one of your models and puts it in his mouth, and you guys are just like stuffing models in your mouth?
You're like playing Chubby Bunny with models?
Yeah, you're playing Stuffy Bunny with models.
It's like that part in the Squid Games, you know, where the two chicks. So like you just created a whole new game. Whoever can like put the most models in their mouth first wins the round.
I don't remember that at all in Squid Game. Also, what?
It was the marbles part because the two girls.
You're spoiling stuff. You're spoiling stuff,
bro. If they haven't seen it by now, then
you are peeking. You are peeking, sir.
Sorry. If they haven't watched it by now, it deserves to be spoiled.
That's
I'm
not
sorry.
It's only 2 weeks. Yeah.
It's been a month.
Has it?
Yeah.
Huh.
To be honest, I know what part you're talking about, but I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, I don't remember them putting marbles in their mouth.
They put marbles in their mouth. I was saying that like they created a separate game than what everybody else was playing to determine the winner, right?
Oh, so that's what you do in 40K. Instead of saying, "Hey, instead of playing 40K, you want to just put models in her mouth." The person who can put the most in wins.
Yeah, and then 3 points per model.
Yeah. That's how we calculate points. If you hit the time limit, you just say, "All right, let's just put models in our mouth. Whoever can stuff the most in there, 3 points per model. Easy."
Yeah, easy.
Imagine if you have a very spiky army too.
Tyranids.
Tyranids, Admech.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Chaos Space Marines.
Oh god.
Okay, we went. Okay, anyways. The next thing that you should talk about with your opponent is always discussing your intent, right? Demeki, you want to talk about this one more?
Yeah. You should always talk. Well, so
he was gonna repeat the sentence.
Yeah. So, well, like for me, for me, like intent, like
Uh,
the best thing that I can say about that is, especially when it comes to transports, right?
mhm.
Because like transports get hairy. If you can't place your models on top of the transport,
Mhm.
then like what's your intent? How are you going to determine what's in what transport?
Yeah,
Especially
you
when it
just don't, you
comes to
just don't
like
tell
your
your
car and the
opponent.
boats. Yeah, you just don't tell your opponent. So like, I mean, the one, and I mean, it helped me was the chips thing. Like we
Mhm.
talked about that in the previous podcast. Like I did different colored chips to designate what units are in what boat, and it helped me a lot. It also helped my opponent. I know that like mind games is part of the game, which leads to gotchas, but like I feel like as a gentleman, there's certain things that you should just flat out tell your opponent. All right, well, this is the intent. Now,
Mhm.
I'm not saying you need to give them your entire strategy. I'm just saying like there are going to be hairy moments where like should you give them the intent of what you're going to do, or is it also going to ruin your gameplay? Like, is it going to give up what you're trying to do in the game in order to win? You got to make that determination, right?
Yeah.
Because, like I
Uh,
said, you can't give them everything.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jumpy?
yeah. I think some of the bigger things, like to say your intent about, is like whether or not you're touching this piece of terrain or not to get the cover save, or you want to stay behind it to get obscuring.
Mhm.
Whether or not you want to stay outside of 3 inches for heroic intervention. You should
Yeah.
be like, oh, my intent is to be 3.1 inches, so you can't get in, or
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
kind of just helps speed up game a little bit, cause obviously because you're on a timer.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
I think that one thing that you talked about too is normally the biggest one is like I want to stay out of heroic intervention, and
Yeah.
like normally that's just like I understand. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. It's even if it's like, cause like, this is a game where dice are falling around the table. Sometimes a tape measure will like sling it back and then it hits a terrain piece and then it's like, oh no, it's
Oh
like
no.
flipping the table in Tabletop Simulator. You're just like, oh man.
I guess you're in heroic intervention range now, buddy.
Yeah. So like, as long as you should always go to your opponent and say, "This is my intent. My intent is to do
Mhm.
this. This is what I'm doing." And the biggest one is heroic interventions, but then also things like pile-ins, consolidations, touching pieces. Like if you're moving something, you're saying, "I'm staying equidistance between these two models, so then I can surf around you later." Like something like that is goes so it's so helpful, and it makes it so then your opponent can't be like, oh well, you didn't say that you wanted to stay outside of heroic intervention, and it looks like that you're 2.9 inches away from my character, so I'm going to heroically intervene.
Yeah, because there was an earthquake in between our movement phases that moved your model like
Yeah,
20
exactly.
inches.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I had a guy. I was playing against Yukari, and a guy had the bomber, and the bomber stopped
Uh-huh.
short because he was trying to mortal wound my foul blight spawn, right, to get rid of the stench bats. And I was like, that's fine, but he didn't check how far he was from Morty, and Morty has fly, and
Yeah.
he was 3 inches from Morty. So guess what? Heroically intervene.
Here it comes.
Yep, here comes Morty.
Why would you drop a plane right next to Morty 3 inches away? What did you go up against? You went up against a guy that didn't tell you that there was something in a transport. Then you went up against a guy that flew a bomber straight into Morty's face.
Mhm.
Are you sure this was
Hey, man,
LVT?
tournaments-
Yeah.
No, that wasn't LVTT. That was so that was the Dice Hammer one. That's when I was playing the Death Guard list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But hey, man, tournaments get wild, bro. We out here.
Yeah.
We all trying to win.
we all make mistakes sometimes. Everyone has those.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone has those
Yeah.
days.
Those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that we can talk about this last piece right here. And that's just about, you just you got to take it. You got to get gotcha'd to avoid gotchas. You have to, absolutely. Like once you get gotcha'd, you'll never forget it after that. That is the biggest thing. John P, do you want to elaborate a little bit on it?
Yeah, I think there was one time we were playing and you had your blob of Tyrion warriors that ignored AP1, AP2, and I
Yeah.
shot something that had AP2 at them, even though you just told me, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I ignore it, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, and then
and
ever
yeah, and ever since then, I never forgot. Yeah, I never
yeah.
forgot to ask like, hey, you have transhuman, you have cover save, you got an invul,
Yeah.
what's up with that unit there? So
What does he do? Let me put it in my mouth.
yeah.
That's all right. I put sensors in my mouth. That's why I put stuff in my mouth. I can pick up a model, put it in my mouth, and I know that its entire stat line just touching it in my mouth.
There it is. Dude, where'd you get that?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like a Pokédex almost.
Yeah, except
Put
it's in
things
my
your
mouth. Demeki, have you what's the worst gotcha that you've ever gotten where you're just like, oh, I will never forget it ever again?
I haven't forgot it, but I forgot like what transpired. I remember it was during a Death Guard versus Sisters match with Bricky
Mm-hmm.
and my Poxwalkers. I pointed at it was like either a pin in an engine or something, and I was like, "Hey," I forgot exactly what I asked him. I think I asked him like, "Hey, do those like, will those mess me up?" And I think he was like, "Oh no, they're not that bad." And then like I charged in, and they were pretty bad. Like I never forgot that.
Yeah.
Like it was a feels bad, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like asking the question, "Hey, will those mess me up?" is always so like subjective because like you could just be like, "Nah, that's not gonna mess you up."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like they could just lie about it. If you ask like a an objective question, like, "Hey, how many attacks do those things get?" They're
What's
more
their
obligated to
AP?
tell you the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's their AP? What's the damage? What's the strength? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing too, because like people ask me like, do the Cronus like, will they mess you up in close combat? And I'm like, well, their weapons does this, but if it does manage to kill a model, I get this, and then it turns into what's their stat line? And so I tell them the stat line.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's up to them. If they want to do it, they can do it. But they also got to probably get past my Overwatch that I probably didn't mention that I'm going to do. If they do charge Dark
Yeah.
Kingdom Answer Flamer. Let's
Yeah.
go.
For me, the biggest one that I remember was that I was playing against orcs for the very first time, and I did not know what Green Tide was. And like I didn't understand or respect it at all. I think like this was like a game of TTS, right? And I almost killed off this orc unit. And I was just like, oh, I'll wrap it, or no, I won't wrap it. Like I'll just kill it next turn. It's not a big deal. And then he big green tide, and I was like, okay.
Wow, I just wasted a whole turn trying to kill that thing.
Yeah. So
And it's back and it's
Yeah.
scarier.
Yeah. Any other gotchas that you guys ever had that you were like, I'll never forget this day. You will rue the day. I'll come back with a vengeance. Dye your hair red, and then go back.
Mm-hmm.
And then not board the plane.
Yeah, not board a plane
Yeah.
to go see your daughter.
Make me pull my hair out.
Yeah. You guys got any more?
Man,
I can't.
I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, I
Like,
probably should have
the
queued this up before. Like, been like, hey guys, think of some gotchas that you guys remember.
Yeah, the
I
moments
already
kinda,
gave some.
yeah, the moments themselves are kind of blurry, but it's like the wisdom I gained lives forever.
Yeah.
It's super cheesy, but yeah.
I feel like anytime I play against Imgard, I'm getting gotcha'd somehow.
Why?
Because like most of the time, I'm just like, oh man, they're playing like a mini. Like they have their own little mini game that's going on with all their orders. It's like I'm giving this order, and then this order, and then this order, and then this order, and then this order.
Yeah, and then you
And by
sneeze
the time
on
it's
it.
all said and done, you're just like, what did you just do? And you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, I just I moved some more.
I will say that one thing. There's plenty of times I've been gotcha'd. Like there was one time where an assassin, like one of the assassins, like it's like a very niche thing. There's an assassin that gives psychic powers -2 to cast, right? And I didn't know. Yeah, and I didn't know that was a thing. And so I get into range and I start casting stuff, and they're like, "Oh, you're -2 to cast, and then with this, you're actually -3 to cast." And I was like, "Oh, so I lose." So what you're saying is that during my entire movement phase, you were just smiling in your head, and I'm just screwed at this point. Like I can't do any of my psychic powers. That's a pretty big gotcha. That's like one gotcha that I always ask a lot is, can you deny psychic powers? How do you deny psychic powers? Who's the person that's denying this psychic power? Because I play a lot of psychic power or psychic armies and stuff. You guys don't. Yeah, you guys don't understand.
Hey, I got stuff for that. You know,
Yeah, you have Mortarion. You have literally one model.
No, I got one model in Drakari too. If I take the relic, you know, and then it deals mortal wounds if I deny.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
I feel like that one's funny. That one's funnier too. When I tell my opponents that, like especially when I was playing against Death Guard, I was like, all right, so I do have a deny, and if I do deny, you suffer perils of the warp. And then they're just like, what? I was like, yeah. Good luck.
I'm the key fives. John P, did you want to say something before we
I think
close
there
out?
was a time where I like gotcha Raph when we were playing, like one of those first times where he like I was playing Space Wolves and he charged me with like his Outriders. It was like a super baller charge. He made, but you know, I'm Space Wolves, so I have Army Wide Heroic Intervention, so just everyone joined the fight and killed him. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. That was a pretty cool charge.
And then Raph never forgot about heroic interventions.
Yeah,
he never forgot.
It's a learning experience, definitely.
Yeah. Like, if you are, like, don't be afraid to be gotcha'd, I guess is what we're really saying. Like, that's, if there was a moral to this podcast, is don't be afraid to be gotcha'd. And if you've been gotcha'd a lot, start reading your books, ask the right questions, make sure that you are saying your intent, communicate with your opponent at all costs, like as much as you possibly can. Eventually you'll go up against somebody, or not eventually, but every once in a while you'll go up against somebody that doesn't tell you that they disembarked their models from a vehicle. And, you know, like, but there's no stopping that. But anything that you can do to stop it yourself, you should take advantage of 100%. Don't be afraid to be gotcha'd.
It's got to be proactive about things, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Take life in your hands.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode. That's it for this episode. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Chapter Tactics. We will be back again next week. You guys want to come up with a topic for next week right now?
SoCal, baby. It'll be
No.
SoCal, 'cause that's the next weekend.
Yeah.
So the weekend after next, I know what our topic is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be SoCal. What I don't know. What do you guys want to do next week? Want to do how to paint your models fast.
Sure.
To prepare for a tournament. That's. I know that this is Chapter Tactics. We're supposed to talk about tactics and strategies. This is a tactic. This is a strategy. Yeah. This is a tactic.
Sometimes you gotta put a list together. You don't have the models. Gotta get them ready.
Yeah, you got it.
And they got to be based too, because they're going off the rules that GW set forward. So they got to be based.
Yeah. So next
we'll get into that later.
Yeah. So next week we're going to be talking about how to speed paint your army to the best of your abilities to get ready for a tournament. I think that's a great topic. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for checking us out. If you guys want to see more stuff, you guys can head on over to youtube.com/dicecheck in order to watch more of our stuff. And if you're not already, go ahead and press subscribe to Frontline Gaming and everything like that. Listen to us in your ear holes. Check out the other shows on the network. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
We love you. Bye-bye.